Originally, 13 was released on the PS2 console, and this is a remake for PlayStation 4. However, I played this on both PS5 and 4. So in total, there are 40 trophies for you to collect. 1 platinum, 4 gold, 9 silver, and 26 bronze. There are some glitched trophies in this, though I didn't encounter any glitches myself with the trophies throughout my playthrough. There are no missable trophies because you can mop up everything in Chapter Select. In total, it will take you around 15 to 25 hours to get the platinum, and you can do it all in one playthrough plus Chapter Select if you use the difficulty glitch. Otherwise, you're looking at 3 full playthroughs. So in total, the platinum difficulty for me was a 2 out of 10 because playing it on easy, the enemies are brain dead and nothing should really pose too much of a challenge. However, while the trophies are simple, the biggest challenge you'll face when playing XIII Remake is actually playing it, because this is an unfinished, unpolished and buggy mess of a game that will crash on you constantly while playing it. As I was going through towards the platinum, I encountered at least 15 to 20 crashes. So sometimes it would just randomly crash throughout a level, maybe when I fire my gun or try and open a door or something. Other times it would just crash during a cutscene, or even worse, it would crash at the end of a level before it would load me in to the next level and actually get a save. Now, you can do manual saves throughout the game, however, they are seemingly broken because it always puts you back at the start of a level, so they're just redundant. If you die too many times in a level, it will more than likely crash because you kept restarting it, and there's just a lot of problems. It's a bit of a slog to try and get through a level only to find it crash on you. Now, there was one mission in particular when playing on the PS5 where I would end the level by placing some dynamite and it would always crash on me. I replayed this 20-minute level 5 times on PS5 and every time it crashed on me. Thankfully, I could put it on my PS4 and it didn't crash then, so I was able to get past it. But if you have only got a PS5, you might not be able to platinum this game, so just be aware that it is very glitchy. I'm going to go through the trophies in the order they are shown in the trophy menu in-game. So first up is the bronze That Was Easy trophy for beating the entire game on the easiest difficulty. So this will probably take you, your first playthrough, around 10 hours or so to complete, and the enemies are really brain dead on this difficulty, so it won't cause you too much trouble. The main issue with the difficulty trophies are that they don't stack, so even if you beat it on the hardest difficulty, you won't unlock the lower difficulty trophies. But thankfully, there's a way to make the Made It and the Authentic 13 Agent trophies pop, having only played it on the lowest difficulty. So after the credits roll and you return to the main menu, select New Game and then select the highest difficulty because we'll go for that trophy first. Skip all the opening cutscenes, and as soon as you're on the beach level, the very first level of the game, as soon as you are able to, just pause the game and exit. It's one of those ones where you can trick the game into thinking you've beaten all of the levels, and that's exactly what we're going to do here. So as soon as you can, just pause the game and exit out to the main menu. Just say yes when it prompts you, and then upon returning to the main menu, select campaign again and then go down to mission select, and then it's just a case of scrolling all the way to the right until you can select the last mission. Notice they all still have the ticks on them. So we just load up the final level, Revelation, and then it's just a case of simply beating this level again. But you don't need to worry because this last level has no enemies for you to shoot, so there's no combat in this. So as soon as you get to the end of this very short level as well, you should unlock the Authentic 13 Agent trophy for beating it on the hardest difficulty. And then when you want the other difficulty trophy, Made It, you just have to repeat the same process. There are 54 collectible trophies in 13, so I think I should point these out before we go on with the other trophies. You'll get a bunch of these for collecting so many along the way, and then a final trophy for collecting all of the 2 sort of types of collectibles, and those can be a little bit buggy, so I definitely recommend you backing up your save when you've got like 1 or 2 of each of the sets left to grab, so you can reload just in case you get into any troubles. So the first type of collectibles that we can grab are these sort of filed notes, documents that we can pick up. You'll get one for your first one, and then another trophy for finding your 5th one, called Amateur Investigator. So some of these are hidden under desks, under chairs, on tables, in rooms, on shelves and things like that. Most part, they're just there in a room. They're not really hidden by any hard sort of means. There's only that one in the well when you get under siege in that cabin that you have to shoot something to reveal it, to be fair. Upon getting the 20th and final document, you'll then get the Now I Understand trophy for collecting all of them. So the other type of collectible trophies are these golden statues, and you'll get your first one when you get your first one, you'll get the treasure found bronze trophy for picking up one of the collectibles. So you'll often find that there's 2 collectibles in each level, 1 document, and then one of these golden Oscar type gold trophies. So in the first level, after getting out of the cabin that you start in, on the sort of pier walkway at the very end, you'll find a gold statue on this crate, and picking it up will then unlock the trophy. And then it's a case of finding, I think it's 34 of these gold trophies altogether to get the final trophy. So this is on the very last level. You'll have the final document and the final trophy, and as soon as you pick it up, it should unlock. And just remember, back up your save just in case, so you can reload and try it again. It's worth pointing out as well that there is a dossier menu on the main menu that you can check and track all of the collectibles that you've picked up throughout the game. Now, when I was going through some of the levels, because the game crashes so much, I'd find that I'd pick them up and the dossier menu would say I had it, but when I went to replay the level to try and just complete it, I noticed the collectibles were still in the world to grab. So if you do have a crash at the end of a level and you have to replay it, go and grab those collectibles again, because I think that's one of the key ways you can avoid the collected all of them trophies from glitching out, by just grabbing them again. You might also find that they're invisible and you can still grab them, so just remember that. Next up, we have the Untouchable trophy for completing a level without taking damage. Now this sounds hard because some of the enemies can just shoot you from miles away, but there's an easy level when you have to sneak onto a submarine. There's only like 5 or so enemies, and for the most part you can shoot them in the back of the head before they even see you with the silenced pistol. And as soon as you hide it in this shallow bit at the end of the level, you should unlock the trophy. So that's a good level to do it in, when you're sneaking in to the submarine. Next up, we have the Pacifist trophy for making it through an entire level without actually killing anyone. So I did this in the is it the FBI building? I just did it early on, but you can do it in any level really, because you can always just run around with just your fists out. So you have to press left, I think it is, on the D-pad to switch to your fists. And because you're playing it on the lower difficulty, the enemies don't really pose that much of a threat, so you can just punch most of them to get past them. So it's kind of an easy one really. The Tough Guy trophy requires you to eliminate 5 enemies with your fists in a row. So if you were doing it on that level we just mentioned, you will easily get it, but I got it before that on this section here, just before I got arrested, because like I say, it's quite funny, and as you're playing on the very easy difficulty, the enemies don't pose a threat, so you can just punch them all. It's a couple of hits on an enemy, about 3 I think, and then they'll drop. And it's an easy trophy to get. And look at him there, his neck's completely busted and his head's just detached. So next up we have the Headhunter trophy for getting 15 enemies with a headshot in a level. So I did this on the snow levels, because there's lots of enemies around and you get this cool crossbow. So for the most part you can get a lot of them stealthily. You'll have like a general guy with you that you have to protect. So most of the enemies, if you do get caught, will start shooting him, so you should be able to just casually take your time and get this. But there's a lot of levels where you'll have a sniper rifle that you should be able to easily get this one. It's not that hard, to be fair, because a lot of the times enemies will just stand still. Stealth Master trophy requires you to execute 5 enemies in a row without being alerted by them. So here in the snow level, when I got into this section of the level, there's an enemy on the far left corner that you can't see that I killed first, and then I would just stealthily kill these patrolling enemies with the silenced crossbow. So I've already killed about 4 now, because there's this guy just to the left of me in the corner behind me there that I killed, and then there's a guy at these containers. He's walking around and he eventually stops to look at that fence, and as soon as you kill him you can get that trophy, but there are plenty more in the area as well that you can easily get. The Davy Jones locker trophy is a bit of a dumb one because it just requires you to drown. So there's a level that starts off on a little boat. It's a kind of a stealth mission where you have to stealth your way inside a compound. So as soon as the level starts, it's a good idea to just jump out the boat and just stay underwater. You will have to wait until your air meter deplenishes and then your health bar before you actually drown. So it will take a couple of minutes, but it's an easy section of a level just to get this one out of the way. And as you can see there, as soon as you restart, you're back on the boat. So that's where you start. So just jump in the water and drown. The Get Good trophy requires you to die 25 times. Now, after completing the campaign, I didn't actually die that many times. So I just went via chapter select into a random level. And as soon as I found a section where there was a load of enemies, I just waited for them to kill me. And then I would just die, restart at the checkpoint, and just repeat that process again and again until eventually I got the counter up to 25. So it does remember all your campaign deaths that you had, and then when you do your chapter select, you'll just be doing the last ones you need. So don't bother wasting your time going for that early on. The Join the Creed trophy requires you to stab 15 enemies from behind using the knife without being seen, I think it said. So this is a weapon you can pick up. There's lots of throwing knives around and you throw them with R2, but you can actually stab it, do a stabbing motion if you press R1. It's kind of like your alternate fire. So all this requires you to do is just basically press circle to crouch, go up behind an enemy and then stab them. But the funny thing is, for the most part, you'll probably find you end up stabbing them in the ass. And this is a cumulative trophy, so it will add up over time. And as soon as you get your last one, you'll get the trophy. The Finish Him trophy requires you to disable the armour of a fully armoured enemy and then finish him with a melee attack. And this one can be a little bit glitchy and a little bit tricky to do. So I did it in one of the early levels, in this little snow compound level. It's this point where you have to get a bridge raised to cross the gap, and you flick the switch in the building, and you're supposed to jump on the mounted gun, but instead just drop down, and then you'll see this armoured enemy come in with a little cutscene. All you need to do now is just get out your pistol and slowly shoot at the green helmet and the green vest that he's got on, because that's his body armour. It will take a lot of bullets with the pistol to take off the helmet and the armour, but because you're playing it on the lowest difficulty, he shouldn't really kill you. And I think there is an armour in here, an armoured vest up the top on these walkways for you to pick up and use, so you should have enough armour and health to be able to do this. So it's just a case of carefully shooting the green armour, and then as soon as it breaks off, make sure you don't shoot any more bullets into him, and just get out your fists and then just punch him to death. It may take a few tries, this one, because like I said, it is a little bit finicky. I wouldn't recommend using the rifles or anything like that, because you might do too much damage with a shot, or if it's a burst fire, you might find the bullets might hit him as the armour smashes. So the Invincible trophy requires you to kill 10 enemies without getting hurt. So this one I thought would be a bit tricky, but I just stealthed my way through this level where you have to get this cable cart to come up, and you go into it with one of the generals that you're sort of saving. I don't really know much about the story because I had to skip all the cutscenes for fear of it crashing. But yeah, there's a load of enemies outside the compound that you can get with a pistol or the crossbow, and then you can get the final one in here in this little room. So yeah, that one's not too bad, to be fair. The Medic trophy requires you to simply find 10 medic kits across the course of the game. So these are just your health pickups. There's often medic kits lying on tables or on shelves, and there's also some medical cabinets like in Max Payne with the aspirins inside. Usually if you open them, you'll find a medic kit. So this isn't one to really worry about, because you'll naturally come across these as you're playing, and you'll just easily unlock this trophy without really trying for it, to be fair. The Authentic Cowboy trophy requires you to kill 6 enemies in one magazine of the revolver. So the revolver has 6 bullets, and the aim here is to kill an enemy with every single bullet. So this one can be a little bit tricky. I did it on this canyons level here because as I was playing on easy, I could just basically run up to an enemy, stand right in front of them and just blast them with the revolver. And any that was standing up high on the rocks above, I could easily blast them down with one shot as well. So just take your time, make sure you line up the headshot and just fire one by one bullet for one enemy each. Do all 6 and you'll get the trophy. The monster kill trophy requires you to kill 4 enemies with the bazooka. So I had to go back to the canyons level in chapter select to get this trophy. After you zip line down, you'll come to this point where you're going through a narrow sort of corridor and enemies will come round the corner at you. I think it's pretty much right at the end of the level. There's a good checkpoint there, so you can just keep retrying it. So as they run round, if you just run past the first 2, you'll sort of get to a point where there's a load clumped together and then just fire it at the ground. Even if you die, like you can see here, it will still sort of count that they were killed, so you can just easily get that trophy there. The Open Sesame trophy is an easy one that you'll naturally get through playing the game, and it requires you to just unlock 15 doors. Now, I'm pretty sure this counts lockpicking the door to open it, as well as the swipe cards to open doors. So you'll see here I unlock the trophy via the swipe card that I pick up off this table and open the door with it, but I'm pretty sure I hadn't done 15 of those at that point, so I do think the lockpick doors also count. And it's always funny to watch him lockpick a door, and just because the animation is terrible, trust me. But that's an easy one you'll naturally get. The Boom All Dead trophy requires you to eliminate 3 enemies with a single grenade. So for this, we're going to go back to that canyons level in chapter select that we used to get the bazooka trophy, and just use that same spot. Hold the grenade and cook it, or just lob it at enemies when they're all there, and you should get it after a couple of attempts. It's not too bad. Any other point in the story, I don't really think you could do it. So this is the ideal sort of spot, to be fair. So definitely do that one there to get that trophy easier. Next up, we have the Sniper Expert trophy, which requires you to eliminate 5 enemies in a row with a headshot using the sniper rifle. So I think I did this in one of the early chapters where you meet up with that girl and you're going across the rooftops with the grapple hook, though the video didn't record, but that's an easy one. The Do You Feel Lucky trophy requires you to kill an enemy with the last bullet of the revolver. So this is just a random one, really. It's a bit of a pointless one. So basically, you can either just fire all your bullets until your last one and then get a headshot on an enemy to kill them with the final bullet, or you can basically just keep shooting enemies and you'll probably just naturally get this anyway, because the revolver is really powerful and it will kill an enemy more than likely with the one bullet anyway. So if you're just running through a level firing it off every time you see an enemy, you should just naturally get that trophy. So next up we have Hard to Kill, which requires you to get 20 pieces of armour. So you can find vests or green helmets throughout the game, just out in the open sometimes, or in certain rooms if you go off the beaten path. And basically it's just your health and armour. It's an armour pickup, and you'll naturally find loads of these as you're playing the level anyway. So it's just a bit of a pointless one, to be fair. 20 isn't a hard amount. I got it probably less than halfway through the game. Next up we have the I Am Tank, which requires you to get the full armour set. So this is the vest and the helmet. So again, if you're playing on the easy difficulty anyway, and you just explore some of the areas, you'll easily find the 2 sets of armour that you need. I mean, in this bit here where you're going through these apartments that are all sort of damaged, you can see I've got no armour at this point. But when I get into this room here, I find the armour on the vest on the I can't even talk, the cabinet, and I get the trophy anyway. So yeah, easy. Next up we have the Friendly Neighbourhood trophy, which requires you to swing using the grapple hook to hook onto 3 points without touching the ground. So after getting this collectible, on this stealth mission, the one where you start off in the boat, you'll eventually come to these bridges that you grapple and swing across. So you can do 2 points here, and if you turn around you can sort of swing back at the other hook and then swing back over, and you'll eventually unlock that trophy. But just be aware you might get caught by the enemies trying to do this. But yeah, it's another easy one, and this is probably the best place to do it, because there isn't many places where you can do 3 in a row. Okay, so next up we have the Bar Fighter Trophy, which requires you to execute 20 enemies with improvised weapons. So these are like things like the chairs that you can pick up, brooms that you'll find, mops, buckets that you can pick up, ashtrays on tables that you can pick up and launch at people. And they're usually one-use, one-hit kill sort of weapons. And it's quite hilarious to use a chair at someone and then just watch how they just badly animate down as they fall. And yeah, if you just do 20 of those as you're playing, whenever you see a chair, just pick it up and kill the next enemy you see with it, and you'll easily get that trophy. The Last Word Trophy requires you to use the alternate fire on the revolver to do 6 quick shots that all hit the target. So your best way of doing this is to kill a boss or fight a boss and do it then. Because you can do it on this scientist boss here, and they won't actually die from those 6 bullets, whereas a normal enemy would start to die after the second bullet or so, so maybe the third would just go through the body and knock it down and lose the trophy. So as soon as the boss fight starts, aim at his chest, press R1, and you'll do the rapid 6 shots into him, and you should unlock the trophy no problems. The Get to the Chopper Trophy requires you to complete the cliffhanger level in Sanctuary in under 3 minutes. So this one is, I guess, kind of tricky, but the time limit is quite generous. So I'm showing you my entire run through this level, and note, this is my very first playthrough ever of the level. I knew this trophy was there, so I was just kind of rushing through it, but I also had time, as you'll see in the level, to grab the one collectible in the stage, which is just around the corner of this sort of little building here. So you can tell that there is enough time to do that and beat the level and get the trophy. So you just want to constantly be moving forward, kill the enemies in your path and just keep running. When you zip line down to this bit, you're at the end of the level now, so you have to kill all these enemies here, and then all these enemies at the back, and then some choppers will start to come in, and it's basically like a little fight here where you just got to shoot the people that are standing inside the chopper once the door opens. There's usually only 2 standing there, one on the left and one on the right kind of thing, and you just got to basically wait for these helicopters to come over and then just fire your gun into them. You can pick up a bigger machine gun in that building we went into where the collectible was, but you don't really need it. I didn't use it, and I still managed to beat this in time. So as soon as you kill all those enemies in those 3 or 4 choppers, another one will come and drop a ladder for you to just run and jump to. And as soon as you do that, if you've done it within the time limit, you should get the Get to the Chopper trophy. Sorry, that was a really bad impression. A very bad impression. The Expert Pilot Trophy is a simple bronze story-based trophy. You just get it for basically completing this level. At the end of the Canyons level, there's a Harrier jet, and basically as you run up to it, you'll trigger a cutscene where you escape in the Harrier, and that'll just give you that trophy for beating that level. So it's a nice easy one. Hopefully when you beat the level it won't actually crash the game and you'll just get through it no problems, but yeah, it's a simple story progression trophy. Pass Out Trophy requires you to reach the truck on the beach. So this is the very first level of the game, and funnily enough, my game, the first time I played it, crashed right there as soon as I moved. So I had to restart and do it all again. But yeah, as soon as you walk forward a couple of steps,
damn it,
you'll trigger a cutscene where the guy just passes out, and basically you've done that bit there, and you'll get the trophy. But unfortunately, the clip of it unlocking glitched and it didn't let it record. So the Sting Like a Bee trophy requires you to destroy a punching bag. So this is just a random hidden sort of trophy in a level. So it's in, I think it's the FBI HQ. It's the one where you can see all the building room names on the walls. And you can't kill the FBI agents, I don't think. You'll fail the level. So you just want to follow the directions to the gym that you'll see on the wall. And as soon as you get in the gym, you'll see 2 punching bags. And as soon as you fire like the first bullet into it, you'll unlock the silver Sting Like a Bee. It's a weird silver trophy for what it actually is, because it's quite simple. The Spring Break Trophy requires you to smash everything in the beach house at the very start of the game. So this is a really annoying trophy because there's so many things you have to destroy, from these little jars in the cabinets to the brass doors on the cabinets themselves, as well as the windows, 2 fire hydrants and a load of other shit bits in the area. So you've got to make sure you kill all the enemies first and then go out of the building and run down the jetty so that the helicopter flies at you. Once that's flown past, go back into the cabin and then start shooting everything. You should hopefully get the trophy. Remember the windows behind the curtains as well. So we have another story-based trophy now, the not-so-secret now trophy, which just requires you to find the hidden entrance into the sanctuary. So you just basically have to push down this cross statue. So just go behind it, press triangle, and it'll push it down over this little rock and smash the floor below. I thought you had to do a little puzzle with the switch, but no, it was just doing that. So it did take me a while to figure that out, to be fair, I will admit. But as soon as you do that and drop down the hole, you'll complete the level and then hopefully get that trophy. The Infiltration Completed trophy is also another story-based progression trophy. So it's just one of these ones in the snow bit where you get into the compound. You'll go through the vent, and as you go through it, you'll eventually get to the end of the level and you'll get the trophy. So it's not one, they're ones that you don't need to worry about, because if you're playing through the game, you're going to get those naturally anyway. So that's just an easy one to do. And like I said with the others, hopefully you'll beat the level and it won't crash on you, so you don't have to play it again. But yeah, once you do that, that's that trophy, and that's actually all of the trophies, which leaves us with just the Ultimate 13 trophy, which is the Platinum trophy, which will unlock after getting all the other trophies in the game. And for me, my final trophy was that one to kill an enemy, an unarmed enemy using your fists. So I actually get the Platinum as I'm punching some guy in the balls, which is kind of funny. But yeah, that's all of the trophies in 13 Remake. So now I should give it a rating, and unfortunately I have to say avoid it, because this game is so glitchy. But if you like me and you find enjoyment in terrible games, just laughing at how bad they are, then you might actually enjoy this, because I did actually have fun playing this game, just because I was laughing at it. Unfortunately, if you're a fan of the original 13, you're not going to like this, because it does kind of ruin that. But I can still tell, having not played that PS2 game, that there is a good game there underneath all of this badly made stuff that they've put in it. And I just did enjoy it for the glitches. It was annoying that that one level on the PS5 wouldn't finish because it kept crashing. So if you got a PS5 to play it on, because it will run better, but you've also got a PS4 to beat that one level, and you do like games that are just glitchy because it's fun for you, then I do recommend it. But for everyone else, definitely avoid this game.
Super Beanie Man Gaming. All kinds of games he's playing.
Push start to begin.
What's up?
Super Beanie Man Gaming. He's got his beanie on. He switched to console on. It's just a game, so why's he getting so pissed off? He's playing shitty games, the ones he seems to hate. Game over again. Okay, let's give this one more try. Super Beanie Man.